This is actually uranium glass, which I don't think they make anymore, but they were making it at least up till the 30s. And see how it's not so good in sunlight, but see how it's that opaque green color, very bright. It looks really amazing if I would shut the curtains, but it fluoresces that nice sort of opaque mutant green. And just as a comparison, this is a UV LED that I bought off eBay. This one is also green glass, but it doesn't have that effect. See? Here you get that fluorescence. Not really a sign of age, it just would probably mean that it's not modern. The other thing I want to show you is the width of the base relative to the bowl. With old glasses, 19th century and earlier, very often the base is wider than the bowl or the rim. So the base is touching this kind of fly spray here and the rim is not. And let's maybe look at this one. This might be slightly more modern. The gap's a bit smaller, but still the base touches first. This is still 19th century. And if we look at a modern piece, this is probably 1980s. They're actually about the same. In many cases, this is a 1950s piece. This one, the rim touches first. This is probably like 50s or something. The rim definitely touches first on that one. It is a champagne saucer though. But if you even this old wine glass, like it really is quite a significant difference. Especially when normally it's the other way, right? Sometimes even in old glasses it can be about the same, but when you look at this green glass here, you really do see that the base is quite wide relative to the bowl. Now, for some glass, like this is a really old glass, but just because of the shape of the bowl, it's like a bucket shape, it's very wedge-like. That rule is not true for this one. Okay, so as I said at the beginning, there are lots of exceptions, but that's something you can look out for. The other thing is style. You see a lot of these panel type cuts on older glasses. This one's maybe not so that this is probably like 1830s or something. This one might be late 1800s or even early 1900s. But you've got these panel cuts here. I have some more on this small glass. Very common. The shape of this bowl, it's called I think an ovoid shape. Started around 1830, and you see this quite a lot on smaller liqueur glasses. Again, this one has a cut stem, and again that bowl shape. Now here's another important type of cut, and that's like a thumb cut. Like it's almost like a thumb shape. This is a bit elongated. This is actually a jug, but it's another example of that. Very common in 19th century pieces. So keep an eye out for that style of cut. Stem, you very often see a like a capstan style, this sort of disc, or it can be a knob. Again, both of those pieces very old, early 1800s. Again, a bit of a capstan here, and then almost like a very squat baluster style stem. This is like a bit unusual, but it's that classic wine shape glass. It's got a fairly short stem though. I've already talked about the base being wide. The other thing is that the stem is very short. You wouldn't see a modern wine glass with a stem this short. So keep an eye out for short stems. The most amazing pieces in glass, I'll just flick through this book, are from the 1700s, and they do have, I'll try and find some photographs. Like here, if you ever find something like this, definitely want to keep it. You know, these are just different sort of styles. Very old pieces can be very complex. In fact, the 1700s pieces are more collectible. It's just that I don't live in Europe, so I'm just not going to find any. I live in Australia. So for me, an old piece is from the 1800s. Anyway, I think I'll leave it there. I will say, I'll finish with one piece. Sometimes you just can't work it out. Sometimes it just doesn't seem to make sense. There are some tool marks that maybe make it look like an old piece, but someone's just used an old method. And the example I wanted to show for that is this glass. The bowl is so perfect. It's like almost a molded bowl. It's flawless. There's no lump on. There's a slight lump on the rim. I guess I shouldn't ignore that. It's not a lump. It's just slight warping. But it's so crisply made. It does have this disc which suggests it's old, and it has a T on the base which suggests it's old, but it just looks, there's not a lot of wear on it. It just doesn't look like an old piece in terms of the shape of the bowl. It's got a beautiful cut stem. I just don't know how old that is. I don't want to say it's 19th century if I'm not really sure. So sometimes it's difficult. Anyway, I think we've covered this stuff pretty well. Hopefully it wasn't too confusing. The main thing is to look at the base and the tool marks, and then you look for the seeds and the stones and the bubbles and the colour, the width of the base, and then the last thing you kind of look for is the style. Or the style might be the thing that catches your eye if it's on a shelf, like you see this sort of thing. I just wanted to mention, you get this sort of petal effect here, where these flutes run up to the bowl. That's something you'll start to see, so keep an eye out for that. And that's actually what you see on the base of this, base of the stem right here, which again makes me think it might be an old piece. Anyway, I hope that was useful. Thanks for watching.